Hey there, everybody. Ginny Massie here, and I am so excited to talk to you today about this topic. I have been getting more requests for information about cueing, and that's really what I want to come to you today about. Now, I've talked with you all before about the best cueing sequence and how to cue in order. But I'm still getting questions about cueing, and I'm here to tell you that I take cueing kind of as, besides the cueing sequence, I take it as a longer term thought process. And I really think of cueing as a communication tool to get clients to understand a broad spectrum of things. Now, what are the things that we're looking for clients to understand? Well, first of all, using the best cueing sequence really gets clients into the movement sequence safely. It tells them exactly what we want them to be doing with the equipment or with the exercise. We give them the number of repetitions, how to do the movement. But then beyond that, what do we cue beyond that, right? And that's really what I want to talk with you about today. As Pilates teachers, let me start with this. As Pilates teachers and movement leaders, really, it can be really easy for us to regurgitate the same information over and over again. We can count for our clients. We continually tell them what to do for their body position. And sometimes we repeat the same information over and over again, which is occasionally helpful and occasionally redundant. So it depends on the client and how they learn on what type of cues are best to give once we get them going into their movement. Now, what I would like to share with you today is my 3-step process for cueing, along with my very favorite cue and the only cue that I feel is okay to say on repeat. Oh, I have a beautiful sunny day here today. So sun keeps coming in and out. I love it. Just soaking up the sunshine. But with that, let's start with the first phase of cueing. The first phase is always to get clients into their movement safely. So that is using the best cueing sequence. Now, if you don't have that, then I recommend that you download the cueing guide that I have provided for you, and I'll make sure that there's a link to that below. So if you don't have the cueing guide, you can have that. It takes you through step by step, different cueing mistakes that Pilates teachers make, and also includes the best cueing setup for getting clients into an exercise safely, quickly, and efficiently. So that's the very first thing that I do for clients, is get them all set up so that way they know what they're doing. Now, in order to tap into your client's brain and learning process, we want to leave that segment alone, right? We get them all into their exercise. So say we're cueing the hundreds. Why not? We'll throw that in there. Say we're cueing the hundreds, we would get them into their movement sequence, get them going into the hundreds, and then rather than continually counting the hundreds the whole time, what else are we looking to affect, right? We want to teach them about the movement. We want to help them understand why they're doing what they're doing. There's so many different roads and avenues that you could take with your cueing. And so the best way to set up that process is to get the expectations set up right out of the gate, how to get into the movement. That's number one. The second thing is to set their pace, and you set their pace with your voice, right? With your cues, when to inhale, when to exhale, just for a repetition or two. The hundreds is the easiest to teach this to you in, because we all know the hundreds, but you can use this for any exercise. Now, when you teach the hundreds, you're in charge of the pace as the instructor. You're the one who taps out how fast to breathe. Inhale, and exhale, right? So you're the one who sets the pace. Now, if you want a faster breath, inhale, exhale, right? Or you go slower. So you're in charge. So the first is to set the expectations, get clients in the movement. The second is to set the pace. And now the third thing, this is where my little secret sauce comes into play that I want to share with all of you. The third thing is to then layer in this one cue that you can use repeatedly throughout the entire class, and it does not feel redundant at all. Now, this cue is the simple words. Listen up. This cue is the simple words, keep going. Everybody, this is my favorite cue because it's now a bridge into they get to remember all that information. They get to absorb that, feel empowered with that information. And now you're no longer responsible for telling them all of that information over and over and over and having it feel redundant. Now you get to layer in one or two additional cues that's really going to help them embody this movement. So let's just take an example here. Let's go with the hundreds and say you'll cue the exercise. Let's just say, let's do hundreds on the reformer. Okay, so just for an example, we're doing hundreds on the reformer. All right, for examples purposes, let's say you already laid out how to get into position, okay? The clients are on the reformer, all their springs are set, you've got them all ready with that. Okay, now reach back, grab your straps, lift your hands to the ceiling, take a big breath in, and on your exhale, lower the arms, lift the head and chest, extend the legs out long. Let's pump the arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now keep going just like that. You're going to inhale for 5 counts and exhale for 5 counts. And now as you continue breathing, keep going. I'm going to give you a little bit more information here. Please stretch out through the crown of your head, scoop up through those abdominals. And then you would continue. Now you can continue with the pacing, with the pulsing. We don't do that for all exercises, of course, but for the hundreds, it's very classic to continue to do so. And using the verbiage, keep going, tells the clients you're going to stop telling them what exactly to do. And then they have to continue doing that. So they have to remember. So not only are you giving, you're transferring power over to your clients to make them responsible for their own movement, right? You're also stepping back and giving them that space to work on those neural pathways. Because if you tell your clients every single thing to do every single minute of every single hour that you teach every single day, you guys, that's exhausting. No wonder why you feel exhausted at the end of every class or session, right? So we as movement teachers and movement leaders, Pilates instructors, we have to learn how to step out of that I'm going to tell you what to do every single second role, because that's not empowering our clients to create long-term change. We have to give them the tools and then step back. And that's where my number 3, right? So we did the setup, we got the clients moving, we set the pace, and then number 3, that one cue, that's your empowerment cue. What is it? Keep going. So you get them through all of that at the beginning. You say, keep going. And whether you say anything else after that or not is up to you, because sometimes silence is the powerful change maker. Sometimes zipping it as a Pilates instructor is more powerful than saying anything because it gives them that mental space to think about what they're doing and not feel like they have to follow everything that you say. But you could also use that keep going as a bridge to give them 1 or 2 additional cues to get them deeper into the movement. Now, whatever cues you choose, if you layer in those additional cues, should be empowering cues, whether it's an education topic, you're telling them a little bit more about why they're doing their movement, or you are giving them additional cues to get deeper into their body. Okay, all of those are options and fantastic ways to get your clients more out of the experience. So that cue of keep going, you could use throughout the entire class. Now, I don't recommend for every single exercise because it might get annoying for them to hear that every single exercise. But really, you could use that cue for 50 to 70% of your class with your exercises as needed. Now, that would be the tops, but anywhere from 30 to 50% would be pretty adequate and a-okay to use because your clients aren't going to hear it as redundant. They're going to hear it as a bridge. They're going to know that then now the information shifts to them and they have to create that internal dialogue in order to keep going because now they have to remember. So I hope you're seeing how the words, the cues, keep going can be a bridge to take the power and place it into your clients so that way they can get the most out of this experience. So that is today's topic of cueing and my personal 3-step process that I'm sharing with you. So number 1 is to create the setup, get your clients into their movement. Number 2, set the pace. Now this could be beyond the hundreds. You could set the pace just by cueing the first 1 or 2 repetitions so that they know when to inhale, when to exhale, how fast or slow to move the arms or legs. That is how you can set up the pace. And then number 3, use that cue. Keep going. Use it as a bridge for more information, and sometimes more information is silence. So there you are, folks. I hope you enjoy that additional information about cueing. Please send me your requests on cueing. If you have any more questions on cueing, I would love to provide some more of these videos for you and help you get a little bit stronger, a little bit more confident, and teaching with a lot more ease. You can leave those notes in the comments below or send me a direct message or email, and I would be more than happy to create more of these videos for you all so that way you just feel a little stronger in your teaching skills. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed today's mini teaching lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.